Tell us a little bit about what you saw and being able to relay that message to Cora when you watched Kimbrel pitch and kind of help out so he wasn't tipping his pitches.
So tipping pitches, we hear about it all the time.
People at home understand what tipping pitches is all about.
It's amazing.
And that's remarkable.
Alex, we have no time to chit-chat today.
No, we got games to get to.
We're here to create content. We're here to tee up the content that we already created earlier in the week with one Steven? Do you think he's a Steven? Or do you think he's just a Steve? Like, you're an Alexander.
I am an Alexander, yes.
Yeah.
No middle name.
Named after Alexander the Great, I assume.
Yes, correct. Good man.
Someone that you've really strived to build your life after.
Exactly. It's got to be a Steven, right?
It must be.
Okay. I know there's an easy way to find out.
And I'm not going to do it. I won't text him on the eve of his team's first World Series appearance in 32 years saying, hey, by the way, did your parents name you Steve or Steven?
What's your full name?
Steve Sladkowski is on the pod later to talk about his feelings, his predictions, his overall mental state as his Blue Jays launch themselves into what many people are calling a David versus Goliath battle against Alex Baisley's Los Angeles Dodgers.
That's right. Let's go. Back to blue, baby.
They're both blue. What are you talking about? We're going to talk a little bit about the Dodgers side of it because obviously we went heavy on the Blue Jays, the Jays with Steve, as well as, we got his Game 7 reactions to the American League Championship Series. So we're going to do a little bit of a preview of the Dodgers piece of it. And I don't know. Alex is going to talk about city government, ordinances, probably New York City mayoral politics a little bit. He's going to do his Curtis Sliwa impression.
Abundance. Hopefully
Before we do that, I am Bobby Wagner.
I am Alex Baisley.
And you are listening to Tipping Pitches. You want to bring abundance back to the pod? It never really left.
It never really
Let's be
left.
honest.
I mean, it's been our guiding philosophy, obviously. No. We're doing the World Series preview. We don't have time to mess around with this. Dodgers,
sure we
do. Dodgers, Blue Jays.
I got nothing but time.
Game 1 is tonight. Or depending on when you listen to this, maybe a couple days ago.
Hey, listen. You're going a little fast here. You're coming in a little hot. I gotta say thanks to the new patrons. Okay. All right. Thanks to Marcus. Thanks to Lucy. Thanks to Julian. All right. We have a responsibility here to our community. God. Can I tell you? Okay. When we sat down to preview this World Series, I thought, what should I do? I need to read a couple things to get myself familiar with these two baseball teams that I know quite well at this point. And so I went to the old Google machine. Mistake number 1. And then I typed in the Google search
that
results.
New Chat GPT browser.
I'm more of I'm trying to think of a different AI company.
Perplexity?
Yeah, sure. I'm more of a Perplexity guy. Okay, don't get me started on AI. We're in the middle of work day right now. I got a lot of thoughts. And I typed in World Series preview. And Alex, let me tell you a little bit about the state of Google search. Let me tell you a little bit about the state of media covering baseball. I got 2 responses from the New York Times, which, as you know, I would never click on because I don't subscribe to, and so I can't read the articles. Okay, and I don't have your login where you have logged in. You have accounts on like 3 or 4 different email accounts to support the work of Ezra Klein. You just need to make sure we get Ezra paid.
Yes, I have Brett Stevens' login as well.
Their affiliate links. You signed up via their affiliate links. There's a USA Today article. There's an ESPN article that is co-written by Buster Olney and Jesse Rogers. Pass. Okay. There's the Daily News Baseball Prospectus. Okay, we're getting a little better. We're getting a little better. It's grim enough that I did open the Guardians World Series preview to read it before coming on to this podcast. It's all just like YouTube videos. Like, what is here, dude? I want to read someone being like, here's what you need to know.
Exactly.
Not someone who's trying to game the system of AI-influenced SEO search.
You know what? You could argue that we are being the change we want to see in the world. You know,
you could argue that, but no one's going to listen to this before World Series Game 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's dead internet. It's over. It's cooked. The real World Series previews are the friends we met along the way, you know, or the Steven Sladkowskis of the world,
aka Steve Sladkowski's of the world. Yeah, they all happen on New York City political podcasts like Tipping Pitches. I just want to say on Tuesday, when we were like, on Monday, when I was like, this is going to be the first baseball podcast on the internet, I was right. And I haven't been proven wrong yet. What's up? Where is everyone? Where are all your pods?
Yeah.
We won. We beat you to it. Sorry, scooped ya. Scooped ya. Attribution. First podcast out. Tipping Pitches.
Yeah. I mean, this is your guys' Super Bowl, you know?
Yeah, I thought you were supposed to be like, oh, we're the reaction podcast. We're the baseball podcast. Like it's hard?
Right.
What? Like it's hard?
Well, we just get on here, fire up the mics, talk shit for an hour. It's that easy.
All right. We have a limited amount of time here to preview the Dodgers piece of the World Series. You know, the Dodgers, the team that everybody assumes is going to win. Right. So let's go. Let's do it. Let's go. You're up. You're the guy who's like, I love the Dodgers. I love what they stand for.
Right. Starting pitching. Real good. Got a lot of starting pitchers. Look, at the beginning of the playoffs, we had a couple like good outings from starters. I think it was the Cam Schlittler start. There may have been one other in there, and I joked to you, I was like, is the starting pitcher back? And I think our consensus was no, not really. But the Dodgers are doing their darndest to revive the starting pitcher. 1.40 ERA across the rotation these playoffs on a historic run.
That's 1.40 ERA, not 1.40 ERA plus, not woke nonsense, not just 40% better, significantly better. 1.40.
Yes, very significantly
the
better.
Original stat. It's not adjusted.
So, I mean, I think that what happens to the Dodgers this postseason kind of flows downstream of how the starters do.
Hang on,
quickly.
Wait. I just kept scrolling down on the Google search result, and I'm up to flipping bats with Ben Verlander's World Series preview. Do you want to stop and watch that before we continue?
I'm just going to power through. That's all. We don't have time for a Ben Verlander digression on the eve of the World Series.
I'm just trying to appeal to the millions and millions of baseball fans in Asia who are like, this is the only guy I care about. It looks like Ohtani and then Ben Verlander. You know, we need a couple more new listeners.
I frankly, I think the starting rotation has maybe covered for some of the lackluster offense that the Dodgers have shown pretty much since their outburst against the Reds in the wild card series. Their bats have, I think they're averaging like 3.5 runs a game or something like that since then. So, you know, when those guys are on, when Snell and Glasnow and Yamamoto and Ohtani are getting it done, it might be all you need. But, you know, there's a lot hinging on that. So,
yeah, we talked about it in our last episode when we were discussing the NLCS in retrospect. And, you know, I mentioned that I think the Dodgers only used 4 relievers total in that series. Of course, it was only 4 games. I imagine if the Brewers had won a couple of them, or if maybe those games were not as close, it wouldn't have been just those 4 relievers, but every game was like pretty close, and they only had to go to the main guys. Now, I don't know if you saw this, but the Dodgers announced that Alex Vesia is out with what seems to be like a concerning personal situation. Him and his wife were expecting a child. Obviously, wishing them all of the best. He was one of the 4 relievers that Roberts trusted, and so you do sort of, caveat being that I don't really care what the baseball implications are this, when the real world implications are much more serious for Alex Vesia and his family. But like, that does basically cut the amount of relievers that Dave Roberts trusts by 25% just by losing one guy. You know what I mean? And I mean, maybe even more because I'm not actually sure if he trusts Blake Trinan. I don't think that he's sure if he trusts Blake Trinan. I think you have to see what dark forces of the underworld are at play when Trinan touches the mound or not at play. So I do think that's going to be interesting. And I think that like, I feel similarly to how I felt on Tuesday when we talked about this, but the Blue Jays, I was joking about it, but the Blue Jays are easily the best team that the Dodgers have faced, or at least easily the best lineup that they have faced. And I think what is going to sink the Dodgers is going to be the depth of covering innings on the mound, whether that's starters or relievers. And the starting pitching has been amazing. I take the Dodgers rotation against any other rotation in baseball right now, healthy as they are. But that doesn't, those guys are not like, they don't have the longest track records of being like, I'm a 7-inning guy.
Yeah.
Like some of these guys are like, I'm a 4-inning guy.
You're
And
right.
sometimes I'm a 3 1/3 inning guy. Like this has happened to many of these dudes. Crazy enough, like Yamamoto is the guy who I trust to go deepest in most games. And the last 2 years, they were just like, he's 5 and dive. And now it's like, he's a complete game shutout guy.
Right,
in the playoffs.
exactly.
Like, so, they're like a little bit more vulnerable than they would appear on paper, and then also at the same time could easily win in 5.
Yeah, right. And there's a big gulf, obviously, in between those things, but of not as big a gulf as I think you would expect, right? It's like, again, it really hinges on kind of a couple players that I mean, I'm really excited for this matchup because the Blue Jays, strike out less than anyone else in baseball. They're really good at being aggressive early in counts and putting the ball in play. And
doing it the right way.
Doing it the right way, exactly. Station to station, taking it back.
It was really station to station when Springer put 110 rows deep in left field to win the ALCS. Yeah. He went station to station to station to station.
Well, but that's the thing about the Blue Jays is like, no, they're not playing it the quote unquote right way. It's like, they strike out less than anyone else, Yeah,
so they're saying that they're playing the wrong way.
No, they're playing a secret third way. But as you mentioned, they have
the Barger way, the Addison Barger way.
But they have like immense star power on that roster too. Like they have a middle of the lineup that's a force to be reckoned with. So this is not the kind of thing
Davis
where
Schneider,
right?
Nathan Lucas,
Ernie Clement.
It's basically like the Big Red Machine out there.
So I don't know. We'll see. I do think, if we're talking X factors, we love to talk X factors.
Yeah.
A low guy named Roki Sasaki may fit nicely into that role. I think you had said before we started recording that you wanted to do some like bold predictions around.
Oh yeah,
series,
I forgot about that. Let's go.
Okay, cool. All right,
lay it on me.
Right. But one bold prediction: Roki Sasaki has at least 2 multi-inning saves. I feel like
wow.
And again, I'm not saying I think. Okay, actually, let me say this: has at least 2 multi-inning appearances.
Okay.
Will he save the game? I don't know, but I do have a feeling that Roberts is going to.
All I did was say wow twice, and you backed down from your prediction, bro. Come on.
No,
they're never gonna hit your turn. They're never gonna turn the keys to WFAN over to us like we want, and like we've been trying to get. If you don't stand by the courage of your convictions.
No, my broader point with this take is that I do think Roberts is going to lean on him. How that actually works out remains to be seen. He's still a rookie. He's still new to being a reliever, largely. He's done very well in the postseason. But I don't know. He's still young. It doesn't have that track record. So, but Sasaki seems like another guy upon whom things will hinge a lot to be the bridge from the starters to himself, I guess.
I think in the postseason, when you have relievers that can go multiple innings, we've seen how valuable that is, particularly in this era of starters not bridging to the setup man like they used to, or like they used to be required to. I just know that like they have been skeptical of using him without like extra rest when they've used him for multiple innings. Like that was a piece of the conversation after he finally was touched up a little bit in the CS, after they had used him for those 3 innings to knock out the Phillies in the elimination game against the Phillies. And then he was quite wild, and they had to bring in Trinan to finish game 1 of the NLCS. So, something to monitor there when you've been a starter and then now you're kind of being asked to be sort of a 1 inning max effort guy, and that's been really great. And now they're bleeding back into asking him to be a starter. It'll be fascinating. To me, the like X factor of the series is like if the Dodgers offense just totally torches the Blue Jays. Like they didn't look great in the CS, but they didn't really need to. But if you go back to the previous, I don't know, 5 playoff series that they've played before this, they're basically just hanging 8 on everybody all the time. Yeah. And I know that's not really how statistics work. Like I'm not taking last October and applying it to this October, but the principal people involved are basically the same people. It's Freddie, Mookie, Ohtani, Teoscar, and like a couple months, like a couple guys that extend the lineup whether or not they're hot. Kike, who's just like the best, and Tommy Edman, who are just like the 2 best postseason hitters of all time. I don't have a super bold prediction.
That's good. WFAN's gonna love that.
My bold prediction is the FBI arrests Ohtani in game 3. Dude, should we have done it like 20 minutes on this betting thing on the eve of World Series game 1? No. This is like kind of the craziest story I've ever seen in my life.
It's insane. But also, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like kind of a couple different stories wrapped in one.
2. Yeah, it's right. 2 stories
it's like
wrapped in one.
There's the NBA like prop betting, and then there's also pulling. There's also La Cosa Nostra.
Yeah, baby. Like, yeah, let's go. Yeah, fixing poker games for millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, using like X-ray cameras on tables and and like
special
straight
classes.
up Ocean's 11 stuff. It's awesome.
Should we do a whole Patreon episode about this scandal?
Honestly, I'm down.
Okay. All right. Coming to Patreon next week. 90 minutes on La Cosa Nostra. Just what you guys wanted. Right smack in the middle. Chauncey Billups. Jesus Christ. Scary Terry. Mm-hmm. You know Terry Rozier, and not for basketball purposes, but for the greatest tweet of all time.
I do. Yes, I do actually. Saw that one going around yesterday.
For those who are not in the know, Terry Rozier is the guy who gave us such classics as after people were like having the revelation that Osama bin Laden was 6'5", which I don't think a lot of people knew. Terry Rozier tweeted, "Osama should have hooped instead of trying to kill people because he tall as hell." It's been rattling around in my brain for like a decade, basically. Maybe even more. I think the tweet was 2011. Okay. Anything else that you want to get off your chest before we send it over to Steve?
I am interested to see how Dodger Stadium plays. I mean, I know we've played games here at Dodger Stadium this postseason, but it's been the most potent offensive environment in baseball this year. So, you have 2 potent offenses. I do think this very easily could turn into an incredibly high scoring series, especially if both teams have to rely on their bullpens, neither of which has really been all that remarkable. The Blue Jays rotation has held their own, but I don't think there's nearly enough confidence that those guys can go 7 or 8 innings and hand the ball to Jeff Hoffman. So I don't know. I think we could see some fireworks in the mid to late innings of some of these games. I don't know. My last bold prediction is if the Blue Jays win, I think we're going to get a rant from Trump about why Canada is winning at America's pastime.
Yeah.
Literally, I woke up this morning and got an alert that said he'd cut off all negotiations with Canada. And I was holy, because of that Ronald Reagan. Wait, because of that Ontario Ronald Reagan ad that I was talking to you about earlier this week.
That's crazy. Wait, that's actually the connection?
Yes.
He was mad about that?
Because Reagan was like, tariffs are bad. And Trump saw that and was like, fuck you guys. Tariffs are actually the best.
Has your opinion on tariffs changed? Because when all this stuff started, you were really pro tariff.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I think they can. I think there's an effective means of deploying them for sure.
I saw someone share a tool recently that you can like upload a series of videos or like content to the tool, and then it will create a AI podcast summary, an AI summary of those videos like in podcast form. It's like an LLM. So like if someone in theory uploaded all 402 episodes of Typic Pitches into this, it could give you like an hour-long podcast describing the history of Typic Pitches. And the first thing that I thought when I saw that was like, that's going to get me in a camp. Like that's going to get me thrown into a camp. That thing's not going to be able to tell sarcasm.
Absolutely
that thing's
not.
Be able to tell making jokes about Osama bin Laden on the pod. Making jokes
it's the John
tariffs.
Mulaney bit, like reading the joke back to you in court, and you thought this was funny,
right? Exactly. It's reading it back to you in an AI summary. I'm just like, they're not going to be able to tell my sarcasm. Alex's cutting edge humor. He likes to walk right up to the line.
Exactly. You know this.
I thought comedy was legal again.
Should we kick it over to Steve on that?
Hold on, before we do.
Okay. All right.
Before we do. Every time I say before we do, I'm like, I'm Bobby Wagner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you still feel Dodgers in 7? You sticking by that prediction?
I am sticking with that prediction. Yeah.
It's Jays in 7, bro. And it's never been more clear. I close my mind and my mind's third eye tells me Jays in 7.
Okay. All right. Fascinating that you just chose the pick that, well, I won't spoil Steve's pick, but
you just did. I chose the pick that I said on Monday night. I just stuck by it because I'm a man of principle.
Yeah.
I'm a principled predictor of sports. Okay, let's go to our conversation with Steve Sladkowski. All right, as promised, the Blue Jays are in the World Series, so Steve Sladkowski is here to be our Blue Jays correspondent. Steve, what's going on inside that heart and soul of yours right now?
In 1993, I was 5. And my mom and dad went out to watch the game at a bar somewhere, in Toronto. And I was with my grandmother, like my dad's mom, dressed in my pajamas, which were a Jays uniform. Like they were, pajamas, but they looked like I was on the field. And I had cut up confetti, like in like a little glass bowl. Like I just made my own confetti out of paper, thinking that the Jays were going to win the World Series, right?
Like construction paper?
No, I think it was just like regular writing paper. I don't even think I was using the good stuff. Like
just all white,
straight up,
paper.
all white printer paper. Yeah.
Right, and, great DIY, dude.
Yeah, that's right. Until I die, bro. And when Joe Carter hit that home run, I, ran around making a mess. Basically, I wrote about this in the like baseball prospectus a few years ago, and I think it was as a little kid. Like I turned to Bailey, my wife, whom you both know, but I was like, I feel like I am 5 years old again, and she was like, yeah, I mean that's what our house kind of feels like right now. Yeah, it was. I'm not gonna lie to you. They had us. I thought they had us in the first half. Yeah.
Wait, that was going to be my question. Was there a moment where you were like, it's just not happening? This is just not our year.
We opened a bottle of wine at the beginning of the show, at the beginning of the game. And, throughout, like, the last time I spoke to you guys, obviously, the Jays were, they just rolled the Yankees, whatever, for the first 2 games. I had gotten through, because we were on tour, and either those games were happening on days off or, like, early enough in the day that I wasn't really stress drinking very much.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good. That's growth. Because in 2015 and 2016, that's all I did.
Mm-hmm.
But we opened a bottle of wine, like decanted it, did the whole very nice married thing. And I was just plowing through it. Like, I turned to Bailey and I was like, I know that I've poured you like a very, very big glass of wine here, but that's the only way that I don't drink a bottle of wine like before the 3rd inning is over.
Mm-hmm. Right. It says I make you drink the bottle of wine before the 3rd inning is over.
I poured her, we got through that bottle of wine basically in 3 innings. And I just was like, well, a beer now, yeah, all right. Well, this might just be it. I was ready to start nitpicking the strike zone. Like, I was dangerously close to posting cope.
Mm-hmm.
Dangerously close.
Yeah.
But luckily, the second greatest man to ever come from Connecticut after my father-in-law, George Springer. I can't believe it.
What can you say?
I can't believe it.
It's a beautiful little piece of background as to why, and I revealed this in the podcast on Monday. Just for context, as we sit here to record this on Tuesday, we're going to put this out Friday morning as our World Series preview.
Sure.
We're going to talk about the Jays. We're going to talk a little bit about the Dodgers, the new evil empire, of course.
That's right, baby.
Fitting that you eliminated the Yankees on the way to facing the new evil empire, the World Series. But I said in this live recording that we were doing right after Game 7 ended, I was like, all right, I'm going to text the link to Steve right now, just see what happens. And then I revealed that you just said tomorrow. And that's a little bit of extra color and context as to why tomorrow was better. Because it was a whole bottle of wine. Red wine?
Yeah, red wine
before
red
the 3rd
wine,
inning was over.
A little Cote de Rhone.
Yeah. And what kind of beers were we getting into? Like
getting into some local from True History in Toronto, which is one of the better breweries in the city. And then it was just straight Asahis. Like the beautiful crafts were gone, and it was just half-liter Asahi tall cans.
Mm-hmm.
And for AL East legend IKF, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
when IKF hit that single, I don't think I sat down. Like, basically, I was straight up like an old man, like watching a game. Like, if we live in a condo, but I feel like if we had a garage, I would have been banished to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
mm-hmm.
Right.
because I was just like sort of standing,
you're exhibiting
with my hand.
garage behaviors.
Yeah, standing with my like old man drinking like Keystone Lights or something in the garage because like his, but I was texting with Blake and he was somehow he's one of the few people I think I'm one of the few people maybe whose text he will answer that doesn't work in baseball during a game. And we both were like, there's just, and my wife said it too. She said it probably first. Bailey said it first, maybe even ahead of Blake and I texting to each other. But it just was like, as soon as they brought Brian Wu in, and man, God bless Dan Wilson for just taking the bullpen trouble game. I told you the last time, don't worry about John Schneider's management of the bullpen. And I almost doubted that. But here we are.
Met his match.
Yes. But when he took Wu out, when he brought Wu in initially, it just like there was a Springer at bat that I think he ended up striking out on. And we were just like, there's Springer like retribution here. Not that I'm even implying that I think what Brian Wu did was intentional. I mean, right. He missed arm side when he hit Springer in the knee in Game 5. It is what it is. I think a lot of the Seattle fans were booing. They can all take their fucking shoes off their head for the rest of their lives. Get the fuck out of here. but just there was just something about bringing Wu in it, again, and I was like, it would be if the Jays are gonna do poetry for idiots, if as baseball is, I believe that my heart and soul. If the Jays are gonna do this, it's going to have to be some sort of like Springer retribution. And I texted Blake. I was like, after it happened, after George hit the home run, now it didn't happen against Wu because even Dan Wilson was like, no way. Did he bring in the wrong guy? Sure. Having said that, I did just read the Joe Sheehan newsletter because I am sick. I'm a sick man. And Joe Sheehan was a little gentler on Dan Wilson than I think most people have been today. And I would encourage people to go read what he wrote. I don't know if it's behind a paywall or not. But like basically said, like realistically in that situation, you could have assumed that Springer and Vlad were going to come up again before the game was over. Right? Mm-hmm. Like just there was one out after the bunt by Jimenez. The double play was not in order, and it didn't seem like they wanted to walk the bases loaded to get to Nathan Lucas. Which again, sure, bro. Okay. I'm glad that Nathan Lucas is doing what he's doing. But he was a lefty. You could have brought Inspire. I don't know. Whatever. I've listened to and read as much of the stuff as I could today, in between just rewatching the George Springer home run with like every different call. Oh man, he really did that. That is so crazy. But it just like, of all the people to have up in that situation in this season for the Jays, down to George Springer. Oh man.
It did feel somewhat preordained, honestly, right? And I was maybe lamenting is the wrong word, but I was marveling at how George Springer really has just become this force of nature in the postseason. And a lot of it is due to opportunity, playing on a team that has reached that point so many times. But it's like at a certain point.
What team was that?
I don't remember.
Your Toronto Blue Jays.
Right, exactly. At a certain point, you have to just kind of go with the fact that he's got that dog in him.
Yeah,
like there's no amount of analysis that is going to make it make sense.
So Sheehan, I took a screenshot of this because it's just it sounds. Among nerdy baseball stats, this is maybe one of the nerdiest, but the championship win probability added of the Springer home run, it's the 27th most impactful home run by championship win probability added in baseball history.
Yeah.
That is pretty insane. I hadn't heard that.
It's the 6th.
Hearing about this for the first time.
It's the 6th most impactful home run in any round outside of the World Series. And by Sheehan's math, it increased the Jays' chance of winning the World Series by 20%.
We'll take that.
Yeah, if you could get it.
That.
Ben Nicholson-Smith from Sportsnet was talking about this today. I'm still in disbelief. I can't like I said, I was ready to complain about the strike zone. We were down bad, dude. The group chat was down bad.
Mm-hmm. Robot umps now. Come on. Yeah.
Speaking of down bad, one thing that I mentioned on the show that we recorded last night and the immediate reaction is, I feel like Major League Baseball and sports in general, basketball might be the worst case of this, but we are just absolutely overloaded with nobody believes in us narratives.
Mm-hmm.
And yet I'll wear this. I don't think that I would have picked the Blue Jays in the top 5 teams in the American League to make it to the World Series if I had to before the season. They finished in last year. I described it as a little bit of a post-hype team. They had been quite exciting and young a few years ago. And then there was a little bit of, just like a little bit of poisoning the well that has gone on with the franchise and how the ownership has handled that in the last couple of years. I think they quelled that quite a bit by signing Vlad to the extension, but there were a lot of questions about Bichette and then the injury and just some of the pitching acquisitions didn't quite work out. And so they weren't really on my radar, but for you, Steve, as someone, this is your team, obviously, like you always kind of believe that there's a possibility that your team might make it to the World Series or might make a magical run in baseball. Well, you kind of have to, like deep down in your darkest darkest corners. Otherwise, you wouldn't keep coming back. But on March 15th or whatever, was this even like in the cards at all?
This wasn't in the cards in May.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're playing the PUP tour. You're like,
came out.
We'll play shows in October.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah. Today, I was late to receive the gear from the Jeff Rosenstock tour because it got freighted back from Nashville where the bus was dropped off because I was in line to buy World Series tickets. And I didn't get World Series tickets. And to show you how crazy it is in this city right now, 4 tickets in the upper nosebleeds in Toronto in the mid 500 section at the Rogers Center were going on SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of MLB.
Unless AWS goes out.
Yeah, which it didn't. 4 tickets in row 12 or 13 of the upper deck of Rogers Center for Game 1 of the World Series was $6,100.
Oh my goodness!
Whoa!
So actually, the $350.
So you bought 12. Then.
The $350 that I spent on hoodies
Someone
and
who
hats
understands
last
economics
night,
help me understand this.
Torched out of my mind, actually was a winning decision. I didn't spend that much money comparatively.
Yeah.
I can't. No. Look, there's been a lot of that. If I would say that if anybody wants a fun listen, Blake and Julia's show, Jace Talk Plus from today, Tuesday, was really great in kinds of talking about, there have been these touch points in the season where I think people have been talking about what the Jays, where you started to believe, right? And I think the real, the big one is July 1st, is Canada Day. Game 2 against the Yankees. There was a 4-game series in Toronto against the Yankees, and that they swept it to go into first place. And they basically from July 1st, they were in first place until the end of the year, right? And Springer hits a grand slam to basically bury the Yankees on Canada Day. And the next day they sort of went up early, but all that was I think that was the first time they got to Max Fried. They beat Rodon, I think, in that series too. And it just all of a sudden it was okay. But May, June, they were mid.
Yeah. And you assume that the cream of the crop is going to rise to the top, right? No matter how the Yankees looked, it's right.
It's a Macho Man. Sorry.
What is I'm curious. What's the vibe like on the ground in Toronto right now?
Did you hit the streets last night? Did you pass?
I didn't. No. I knew for my own sake. We looked. Tickets for Game 7 were $300 US a seat, so that was not crazy. It's all crazy. I don't mean for the listen, but compared to the Game 1 of the World Series, but
can't afford not to go.
Yeah, it'd be crazy not to do it. I was I've just been out on the road, I like to hang out with my wife. We were watching the game together. I scared the dog, obviously standing so much, clapping, this is just man, just in between, just what are the things the dog loves so that I can just we don't undo all the work of her feeling comfortable in this house from when we adopted her. I'm so here's the celery, here are some cookies, please don't hate me. I can't I can't handle this. I can't handle Julio Rodriguez looking like he did when they swept Seattle. Or when Seattle swept them 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was. I'm just I can't. No, please, not again. And that is what it looked like.
The rescue dog doesn't quite yet understand championship win probability.
That's right.
You're trying to read those stats at the rescue dog, and they're just by
WRC Plus, this is one of the greatest postseasons.
My kid asking me who's winning, and I say, "Shut up! I'm teaching the dog OPS Plus."
But yesterday, I went to the Apple store with my mom because she needs a new computer, and she was like, she worked in IT and she like knows stuff about tech, but she was like, will you just please join me? And I was like, sure. And there's like a really good sushi restaurant at the mall for some reason, because that's a thing that happens now. So we like, we went for a nice sushi lunch, and I was wearing my vintage starter jacket, Jay's bullpen jacket that I bought many, many years ago at what felt like an inflated price then of $100 US.
Wow.
It was dead stock, like mint. It's pretty beat up now because I wore it on tour and whatever. But you break it out for the big moments, and people were stopping me in the mall, like being like, they have to win tonight, and I'm like, yeah, yes, mm-hmm. If they do, they'll go to the World Series. Yes, I too would like them to win tonight. So, it's pretty good. It's, here. It's so, the vibes are so good that the first 30 minutes of the national, every day at noon on Sportsnet Radio, there is a national hockey program. And for the first 35 minutes of the national hockey program today, they talked about the Blue Jays.
Let's go. Let's go. The Blue Jays finally usurped Game 6 of the NHL season.
That's right.
We did it, Steve.
The vibe. Did you see what Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was wearing?
Mm-hmm. I saw it. And I saw a lot of people saying, wow, terrible vibes to do that. Had no idea who the player was, who the team was.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, looks like it.
The vibes are so good that he can wear an Austin Matthews jersey to a Game 7.
Let's go.
We had to walk the homie Young Yiga back from the cliff a little bit. When he saw that, he's the GQ guy. He's like, dude, this is sartorial like trouble making here. What are we doing? And it's like, dude, don't worry about it. We're good. We're good here.
One of my most common concerns in life is sartorial troublemaking. I'm always just like, am I making some trouble sartorially right now?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Are you? Depends. Were your pants too baggy or too skinny? Nobody knows anymore. Right. That's neither here nor there.
I know. Tell me about it. I feel like I was misled all these years with the skinny, and now the baggy is sort of overblowing, and I'm just staying right in the middle.
Oh shit! Wait. Don't look at my collar gap real quick, guys. I just realized.
Shouts to Young. He's the best. It's insane. I can't believe it. Like, and did you guys see that? Like, Shane Bieber gave up 6 hits on breaking balls. It's like the second most in his whole career. And yet you still decided that you should bunt in what, the second inning, the third inning? When did Brandon Crawford come up? The second inning. They bunted and then like just left the two guys who like were slugging a combined 100. All right, Dan Wilson. Thanks, brother.
By the way, I just want to say right there. You said the name Brandon Crawford. When did he come to the plate? And
Brandon Crawford. Right.
This is 20 seconds, and I was like, I know
JP,
that's not him.
That's a running joke. We've been calling him Brandon Crawford and just saying, "Let's go, Brandon." For the last couple of games.
Nice.
Right. Anytime you can work one of those in.
Sorry, I brought that's the inside jokes.
That's on the vanguard of comedy still.
Yeah.
Let's go, Brandon.
Somebody call Connor O'Malley. Tell him the Jays are going to the World Series.
Okay, Steve, long-time listeners of the podcast, and even short-time listeners of the podcast, if you've been listening for 2 weeks, people know you're ill. You're a degeneraite.
Yeah,
and you have hate in your heart for the Jays opponents. Like you're not here to be like, yeah, nice work, everyone.
I do.
We all are going home happy because we all love each other. Like, no, that's not your MO. And so you've now turned the Death Star that is your baseball fandom. You've trained that on the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Okay.
What do we think? How do you feel heading into the series? I would venture to guess that the Dodgers are heavy favorites, both narratively and on paper, betting, whatever, projection systems.
I assume
think the series is probably pretty close, like closer than most people are giving it credit for. That's at least my take. The Jays lineup is much, much better than anything that the Dodgers have faced on their way to this position.
Yeah.
All that being said, like, what is your gut telling you about what is going to happen in this World Series?
I think if the Jays are going to win, And I think it's an uphill battle. Obviously, they're going to win. They're going to win the World Series. I've believed this from the end of last season until right now, every single day. I've never once responded to the Toronto Blue Jays fan surveys that get sent to my email inbox because I signed up to be one of the people canvassed. I've never once said I'm not very excited for this season.
Nothing that you've said in this exact
tradition.
podcast segment has contradicted what you just said just now. Nothing.
I think if they're going to do it, it would be, it's not to go to, dog brain analyst here, but Blake Snell, the ugliest man to ever throw a baseball, gets worn out in game 1, probably. Right? Like just something, you've seen him enough with Tampa. You've seen Tyler Glasnow a handful of times with Tampa. So like a lot of, like if Bo Bichette is back, all of a sudden the lineup is longer, especially if, maybe does Bo Bichette play second base? If you are a little bit worried about his range at shortstop, I have a feeling if Bo Bichette is going to be listening to offers from other baseball teams to play for them in the offseason, they're probably going to be asking him about second base.
His injury is a hamstring?
He sprained his knee on an awkward slide at Yankee Stadium. He went into Austin Wells like knee pads.
Ghost of Kissinger got him.
Yeah. But he, last night, when everyone had their shirt off and Max Scherzer was just screaming about whatever Max Scherzer screams about, in the dressing room, he said he was good to go. That is like what has been running all day. So, here's the thing. You carried on Anthony Santander for half of the ALCS. Then you finally admitted that it's just a lost season for him. You brought up Joey Loperfido, who's a guy that I think is a pretty good part of the future. So you've already had, and he didn't have an at bat, right? I think he maybe had a couple of bats when they took Springer out of the game in game 5. Mm-hmm. But he'd never started a game. He was the guy you're pinch hitting is always like usually a platoon for Addison Barger. So like you've carried someone like Bichette on the roster basically for the entire playoffs. Why wouldn't you carry the main guy, even if you feel like he's going to be a DH or like, yeah, you have to convince him to play second base. I don't know. Or he's going to play shortstop and he's fine. And they've just been bluffing the whole time because that is what the Jays do. But I think if you're going to win, you put the fear of God into the Dodgers by getting to their starting rotation because Dave Roberts doesn't trust the bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have to think about it for the last 4 games either.
And Milwaukee, God bless them. They were so fun. The Brewers-Jays World Series would have been awesome. I feel like they just ran out of gas. Right? They looked like a bullpen game in the CS. Like, again, John Schneider pulled every correct lever for every bullpen decision save for one so far in the playoffs, right? But a bullpen game in the CS, I don't know about that. The Jays will probably, maybe you savage game 1, which, again, as I said to you guys, Max Scherzer's brain and Justin Verlander's body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
essentially Trey Savage as you've
sold me ever since you came on, and I was familiar with him, but was not intensely attuned to him. But I'm all in now. I'm seconds away from getting a
lifelong best
jersey.
friend, Trey Savage.
Trey Savage, who I would ride or die for.
What's better?
Go way back.
What of the two great things that Pennsylvania has given to the world? What do you like more, Sheets or Trey Savage? Hard to say.
Whoa, Steve. This is a Wawa podcast. Sheets can go to hell. Sheets is my Yankees, man.
Well, I'm just saying,
Spoken like a guy who's really played some small towns in PA. If you're throwing Sheets out there.
You guys want to hear something really funny? We discovered this once at a Sheets in Pennsylvania. I guess the CEO or like one of the co-founders or something, his name is also Steve. And he and I have an almost carbon copy signature of each other, of our first name. And the only reason we know that is because in every Sheets bathroom is essentially like a guarantee of cleanliness signed by a co-founding CEO.
That's the Sheets promise when you walk in. The
like
food and coffee's hit or miss, but our bathrooms.
Zach and Nestor once were just like, dude, this guy signs his first name almost exactly the same as you do. And we looked at him and we were like, that is fucking eerie.
This is Steve Sheets, who is the brother of the founder and CEO, and he serves as family council chairman. I gotta say, I learned something about Sheets today. I didn't know that it was named after the guy who
I was
found
gonna
it.
joke, Steve Sheets, obviously.
I think it was like the Sheets. It might be. I don't know. I might be wrong. It might be. Maybe Sheets is just like a name that I can't remember what the actual.
No, it is their name. It is their name.
It's
I'm looking
the
it up.
Sheets. Yeah. Okay.
On our tried and trusty
fact-checking.
Wikipedia, which is the only place we go to fact check this podcast. Because it's the
right,
only
baby.
place on the internet that's real anymore.
The Commons. A digital commons is good, actually.
Agreed. Totally agreed. Shout out our boys at Wikipedia.
So
And our guys and gals at Wikipedia.
I think that's how you do it. Is like the David Popkins renaissance continues, and the Jays just wear out, a few pitchers that they're familiar with. You get Yamamoto in game 2, maybe, right? Like they've gone Snell, Yamamoto, Glasnow, Ohtani.
Yeah.
Which, saying out loud, makes me want to throw up.
Right, well, when you put it like that,
Would you like to use this moment on the podcast to call into question Dave Roberts' bravery about whether he will throw Shohei Ohtani into the fire that is Toronto after what went on 2 off seasons ago? Too scared to put him on the mound in Toronto, Dave?
I don't even know.
Don't have the guts?
I mean, he has pitched in Toronto, I think, for the Angels. But like, fine. They peaked too early. Everyone's saying that Ohtani played the greatest baseball game that's ever been played.
Wow.
what's
They don't hang a
now?
banner that says greatest individual baseball game that's ever been played, do they?
Exactly. WAR can't figure out what to do with this game. They can't. You don't put that banner anywhere in the ballpark.
Okay, so did the Dodgers get it all out of their system?
Wow,
Right.
I love this. I love this. This is a
So
great take.
they've peaked too early
Yeah.
by having this immaculate game where you're already up 3-0, and probably Ohtani doesn't need to do all that, but that's neither here nor there. He's so cool. I don't know. I can't even. It's hard to hate.
Right, I can't even jokingly hate
Like
him.
Mookie Betts is the less likable guy on your team. What the fuck is going on here? I have to dig up like when he played for the Red Sox, and I still kind of liked him. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. He's so cool. He's just like one of the best defensive shortstops in baseball after playing right field his whole career. Like, what the fuck?
Did he not come up as a shortstop? Am I imaking things here?
He was a second baseman in the Red
second
Sox
base
system.
Yeah. Right. I was like, I swear to God. Tyler Glasnow just I don't know. Teoscar Hernandez comes back to Toronto and realizes he signed with the wrong team, and so he does the favor of just like not all of a sudden he's not playoff Teoscar Hernandez, maybe.
Yeah.
Andy Pajes is a fraud. I don't know. Like Kike Hernandez maybe the rest Rust thing. Like I feel you have to steal. You can't do with the Dodgers what you just did to Seattle, which was spot them 2 games at home. You have home field advantage in the World Series. You have people paying half of a used Toyota Corolla to sit in the upper
Good
deck.
car. Good car to buy used.
Yeah. I mean, hey, and you have not perhaps over an entire season, but in the postseason, the best offensive weapon that anyone has ever had. You have to just go win. They haven't played in a week, right? Like,
Alex, let me try this one on for size.
Mm-hmm.
Are we sure the Dodgers are even that good?
yeah, there you go.
With that last year, with the Yankees beat themselves, you take Yankees fans at their word. Basically, the Yankees won that World Series. Chalk it up.
Right.
That's number 28.
First of all,
who have the Dodgers even beaten? I mean, the Reds this year, whatever. The Brewers, they couldn't hit water if they fell off a fucking boat. Like, what have they done? What have they done? Are the Dodgers is Ohtani even that good?
I haven't seen them with mine own two eyes. So
mine own two eyes.
Mine own two eyes. Yeah. So really, who can say who the favorite is in the World Series?
Yeah.
You know?
Game.
Yeah.
You know?
It's,
when you roll that ball out there, it's really anyone's game.
It's so it feels so improbable that they're here anyway that I'm almost just like, yeah, just go and like do the same thing you did to the Yankees for the first 2 home games or whatever. Like do something, like just surprise them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mike Tyson. Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Exactly, right? Like you hate to like do that thing of just like go punch him in the mouth. Just like, I just, and it is so crazy in there, right? Like I was lucky enough to be I was at the second time they walked Texas off in 2016 when Donaldson came home on the Odor throwing error. And I was at all 3 against Kansas City in 2015. I was at that Marco Estrada game still is probably the best in terms of my actual attendance. The best Jays game I've ever seen pitched. And that includes like seeing peak Roy Halladay when I was like a teenager. I was at the Verlander no-hitter, which it's a pretty good baseball game. It's a pretty good pitching performance.
Mm-hmm.
I was like deathly hungover. I don't know if I've talked about that on this podcast, but like, and like so hungover that I didn't know what was going on until the 7th inning. It was like a Sunday afternoon game.
There's like people trying to like hint to you, you know, like without saying it or whatever.
Yeah, and like all of you get to the point
special,
of
and you're just like everybody keeps saying that. Like
at
what
that
did
point,
they tell
I'm special in my stomach right
now. Yeah. It is so loud in there.
Yeah.
With the dome closed. And I think the way that they've done the stadium renovation, it is close to 45,000 when it's sold out. So like, and that roof is closed. And like, this is, I mean, again, it was $6,100 for 4 tickets in a middle row of the upper level, not even behind home plate.
Safe to say that there's some fervor.
Oh, people are ready,
area.
dude. Like, yeah, people are ready. It feels genuine. It feels less likely than the Raptors. And the Raptors was like really unlikely.
Yeah.
Or felt really unlikely in the moment. You know, you're like, nobody knows what Kawhi's going to do. But like, they just like.
Do you denounce aspiration and all of they stand for?
Seems to me that if you were going to invent a fake company to circumvent a salary cap, you could do something a little more complex than we're going to plant a bunch of trees.
Right. And then not plant the trees.
Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
I never
you
even
made it
put
too
him in
easy
a
for
social
people.
media post. Like, it's just so awesome. We don't have the time.
You know
to
what?
get into that.
Fuck you, Ballmer. Fuck Microsoft. Fuck Seattle. Big up Dick's Burgers, though. That place rocks.
It's a great city. It's a great city. It's not their fault. You know, they just ran into the buzzsaw that is the Toronto Blue Jays.
Man.
Okay, Steve. Godspeed to you. I'm wishing you nothing but the best. Final prediction. What's going to happen?
Jason 7.
Let's go.
Nice.
Just
push
like
it
I
to the
said.
brink.
I think here's the thing. I think if it's going to, they don't, the Jays as an organization have never done things the easy way. I think overall, at least for my time, you know, it feels like if it's just going to have to be a sort of like a war of attrition, you know, that whether that's like the at bats against the Dodgers starting pitching, like the Jays have been wearing out. There was they swept Detroit, and mind you, Detroit was doing very badly coming out of the All-Star break, but like they beat Skubal and like swept Detroit. They basically from the second half have like beaten some of the best starting pitching in the game. And they've done it by sort of doing what you saw them do throughout this postseason, right? They hung 8 on George Kirby. They hung 7 on Max Fried. They hung 4 or 5 on Rodon. Like, they made Logan Gilbert look like Olivia Colman with a goatee. Like,
I don't even get that roasted. I still thought it was funny.
just look at him. He looks like Olivia Colman. It's crazy. Made him. I guess I could be like, he looks like not the favorite. If we really wanted to.
That's high concept.
Yeah, like I said, call Connor O'Malley. Somebody alert Joe Pera. And why? So why not Blake Snell, who you've seen a bunch when he played for Tampa? Why not Tyler Glasnow, who you've seen a bunch when he played for Tampa? You know,
why not Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah, why not 2 like generational talents from Japan? Yeah.
Well, I mean, lots of guys who have struggled with their command at various points throughout their year, and you can easily see the Blue Jays just getting up there. And how would you put it? I mean, maybe taking it like one pitch at a time or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
What do we think? We need a little bloop and a blast here. A little bloop and a blast, boys.
Exactly.
Hey, you know what? It's just one of those, like, Ernie Clement is hitting over 300. And I know that it varies series to series, but just like there's some like up and down the lineup just being like, oh, the next guy will do it. Like, I feel like a lot of baseball teams, you hear that from a lot of baseball teams. This Jays group in particular is the first one where you actually kind of believe it. Like, Andres Jimenez hit 2 2-run home runs in Seattle.
Mets legend Andres Jimenez.
Yeah, right. Guardians icon.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, it was worth it to trade Lindor for this man, Andres Jimenez. Okay, Jays in 7. Alex the Coward predicted Dodgers in 7. Wow, so original. You think the Dodgers are going to win the World Series?
Yeah.
Nice work. We're wishing you the best. I assume we'll have periodical check-ins from you throughout this World Series, even if it's not on mic.
You're welcome to just send us voice memos if you want, just like in the moment.
A voice memo, dispatches from Steve's brain during the World Series.
It would have just been me shrieking yesterday.
Yeah.
That's, I think, why.
That'll play. Yeah. Our listeners love ASMR.
My wife and I jumping up and down, hugging each other, dog being like, what's going on?
Right.
Yeah.
Actively acquiring anxiety in real time. Yeah.
Relatable.
We're taking Jess Whitney, who I think you both know, out for dinner tomorrow, right? Everyone who was Bailey's maid of honor, her best friend, Major League Baseball. If you know Major League Baseball on social media, it's because of Jess.
That's right.
We're taking her out for a fancy dinner tomorrow night. It's nice. I think, again, I heard this today somewhere, but it's like, people forget, I think, how intense the fan base is up here, and a lot of casual baseball fans, none of whom listen to this because it's real heads only here. Right. But I'm just excited for people to see how much people actually care about the game in Canada and in Toronto. And I'm pretty sure Joe Carter's going to pitch or throw the first pitch of Game 1 of the World Series. So,
nice. Okay, we're doing everything we can to carry the vibe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. It's going to be. People are trying to rehab some of Drake's music. That's how excited they are.
All right.
Well,
on that note,
there could be a kiss of
it's
death.
over. We're done. We're done. Let's not get a little too big for our britches here. Steve Sladkowski, thank you so much, sir. It's always great to talk to you. Even better when the Toronto Blue Jays are on top of the American League.
They won the pennant, baby. Nice to see you both.
Thanks to Steve. Thanks to everybody for listening. We're going to be back sometime mid next week in the midst of the World Series. Ideally, it doesn't end in a sweep because that will screw over my plans when it comes to the day that we record the next episode of Tipping Pitches. But hope you enjoyed this season, or hope you enjoyed this World Series preview. And we'll be back sometime mid-series to talk about how it's going. And of course, you can always check out Patreon. I believe we're due for a Patreon episode next week. It won't actually be 90 minutes on poker, although it'll probably be at least like 40 minutes on poker.
Yeah,
For being totally honest. Patreon.com/tippingpitches. We'll do a little World Series chat. We'll do a little X-ray goggles chat. It's going to be a fun time.
I'm locked in. Let's go Dodgers.
Let's go. Are you actually rooting for the Dodgers? Or you just think they're going to win? Who are you rooting for? On the record right here, right now, in the last 30 seconds of this podcast, which statistically very few people listen to.
Yeah, I am rooting for the Dodgers. You know, when everyone's zigging, I got to zag. You know, I was talking to I was overhearing my doorman talk with someone else in my building, and they're both Yankees.
You would
fans.
Never talk to your doorman.
Because I would never fuck that guy below me. It's below my level.
Doorman of your office building, where you don't have a doorman at your apartment building. Just for everyone listening.
They were both trying to talk about baseball, and they were like, "Nah, I'm checked out. Let's go Knicks, baby." I'm like, "Oh, that sounds about right."
America First Alex Baisley has finally spoken. Thanks everybody for listening. Let's go Jays. They're going to get it done. We'll talk to you soon.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alex Rodriguez. Tipping Pitches.
Tipping Pitches.
This is the one that I love the most.
Tipping Pitches.
So we'll see you next week. See ya!